Alright, what is up? This is SLOplays, and happy Xenoverse Day for 2022, man. So, I already know a lot of people are going to be wondering, like, what the hell is Xenoverse Day? Did y'all just make this up? And yeah, pretty much we did, but the reason why we call today May 16th / the 17th, those 2 days, we call them Xenoverse Days because it's the most significant day in terms of information and releases for the next title of the next Xenoverse game. Now, obviously, Xenoverse 3 has not been confirmed yet, and there hasn't really been much info or just like, leaks or, rumors. There haven't been anything on it just because, Xenoverse 2 is still getting DLC. About a couple of days ago, we recently got that announcement of Dispo coming to Xenoverse 2 as the next DLC character, the second DLC character from Hero Vote, going to be integrated this summer. Now, again, we don't know when that's releasing yet officially, but we just know it's going to be coming out this summer. Now, I wanted to take a trip down memory lane with some of the first initial reveals for the first Xenoverse game, the second Xenoverse game, and then I wanted to get into some speculation, news, rumors, all that great stuff in terms of Xenoverse 3, because there have been some things that a lot of people have, recently tweeted at me or sent me that are pretty compelling and interesting, and I just wanted to maybe debunk them and just talk about them because it's cool, it's interesting. It's just going to be a fun overall video. Do you guys kind of like this one? Let me know. Okay, there are two here. I did two concepts. We have this one that's more of like the Raging Blast style, and then we have this one right here, which is, more traditional Xenoverse styles. But yeah, let me know down below. I just wanted to put that out there for some of y'all. So here's another logo concept that I kind of made. Let's go over the very first initial announcement for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1. Now, this was put out, I believe, on the 16th, May 16th, of 2014. This was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 was revealed. We didn't even know what it was called yet. We just knew it was a brand new game. The graphics looked really, really nice from what we saw right here. Obviously, still dipped in oil. There were so many fan theories and speculation of a potential Super Saiyan God Gohan. Everybody thought this was God Gohan or some type of Gohan character. We didn't know it was a custom character. I'm sure there are some people who maybe predict that because the game before this one, I feel like was Ultimate Tenkaichi. When did that come out? 2011 maybe? Okay, so maybe not. I don't know. No. Battle of Z came out before this one. My bad. Battle of Z did. So we did know that custom characters were a thing at that time. But when I first saw this, it blew my mind because it was like basically a version of like almost like a future Gohan, because he's got like the Trunks Capsule Corp jacket, and then he's got the Piccolo cape, and then the fucking Scouter. It's weird. Nobody really knew exactly what this was, but Super Saiyan God Gohan was like a really, really big fan theory. Like, oh, is this like a new character or something? So it says, will sway history, allow us to present to you an enigmatic main visual. Exactly. It's weird. Like, you see Goku and Vegeta fighting. Who the fuck is this, dude? Pay attention to the Capsule Corporation mark on the mysterious young man's left shoulder. Kind of a reference to Trunks, how they called him the mysterious youth back when he was first revealed. So this was called the Dragon Ball New Project. We knew it was coming out for all the next-gen consoles and even the current old-gen consoles. This was the first, I think, game that came out on both the old and the new gen at the time. It came out on PlayStation 4, PS3, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. Now, I do believe, in my opinion, if a Xenoverse 3 gets announced, depending on when it gets announced, okay, it could come out on the last gen. It could potentially come out on PS4 and stuff. Now, I don't know if PS4 and like Xbox One are still getting games. I think they are, but I don't know, man. Just because Xenoverse 3, it's like, taking forever, and it could be coming out, in the next couple of years, 3, 4, 5 years, at that time, we'd probably already get a PS6. I'm going to be honest. So I do think, depending on the timing of when it releases, it could come out on 2 different generations of consoles, okay? It could, all right? I'm not saying it will, but I'm just saying it could, just because you guys know there's been that shortage with, like, I still don't have a PS5 yet. There's been a chip shortage or whatever that's been going on, and I'm telling you, this pandemic really fucked up a lot, okay? And I'm pretty sure the pandemic as well, with Corona and all this that's been going on, I'm 99% sure that delayed the process of getting, or even just the process of making Xenoverse 3. I think it's still in development. Pretty sure it is, okay? Just because whatever they've been releasing has been real easy content for DLC, okay? All the DLC that they have released has been nothing that changes the core gameplay. It's just added content of the normal gameplay that we already have. And that's why Xenoverse 3 can still happen, even with the they could add 4,000 more characters in the Xenoverse 2, and they could still make a Xenoverse 3. So, moving on here, a fast forward into 2016, 2 years later, on the same exact day, a website was announced. You guys probably remember this. This website, this image right here goes so hard. All right, it was titled the Fly Through Time website. We knew this was for the next, I'm pretty sure we knew this was the next Dragon Ball game announcement, just because I think Bandai Namco has launched a new Dragon Ball project countdown website, okay? That term project, oh, it has so much power in the Dragon Ball community, or just any game community, but like really the Dragon Ball community, because I think Dragon Ball Z Kakarot was called Dragon Ball Z Action RPG Project or something like that back in like 2020, I want to say. I think it was announced in 2020. So, man, I'm just looking at this visual. Or is it 2019? I can't even remember. I'm just looking at this visual right now, right here. And this website, I don't think it's up anymore. I think it's gone, but it just had a whole bunch of the games, movies, just like a bunch of key visuals and stuff in this countdown. And obviously, the next day, May 17th, was the official drop of the announcement trailer for Xenoverse 2. Moving on to the next thing here that I want to go over. This is the official, I don't want to say, sorry, not official. It's not a, I mean, I'm pretty sure it is official because it's got the same Gandhi.net or whatever. It has the same information as the other ones for the Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2 domain. But this is the one that I've been using. A lot of us have been using, like Burkhall, Kabi, all of us that have been, you know, Xenoverse 3 enthusiasts or whatever. We've been looking at the updates on it. Now, there hasn't been an update since the last video that I made, which covered last year in December, I believe December 2nd. And it still has the expiration date, okay? It still got updated to expire at the end of this year on the 9th. December 9th, okay? So there still hasn't been any really updates on this, but I mean, these just happened randomly, and we don't know why they happen, and we're left in the dark for a lot of this, but I just wanted to bring this up here because this is kind of just like a recap of what's been going on with the Xenoverse 3 stuff, okay? Again, something else in regards to Xenoverse 3, this is something I just like to bring up a lot because this was such a amazing moment in the Xenoverse community. Xenoverse 3 was trending. It got trending. The hashtag Xenoverse 3 was trending back last year on October 26th. Big shout outs to Burkhall for kind of pushing it. Okay, the little story behind that was the Bandai Namco Spanish or Latin American page. My bad. Kind of didn't hint or anything, but they did acknowledge Xenoverse 3. They did acknowledge it. That was the first time we got any reaction or anything from any of the accounts. Now, these are just normal people that run these accounts. You know, they're not some insider information. They're not, you know, developers or anything. They're literally just average people that run the social media page. That's their job, is to run the social media. Like, that's an actual position. You guys have probably seen a couple of these people out there. So it was just really cool and fun from their official page. It just made it feel like more brought out to the attention of people. And then when this started trending, it was insane, bro. Like, I think this got over, like, I want to say like 20 or 30,000 tweeting at the same time at one point. I could be wrong though. Maybe I'm thinking about something else, but it was still really cool because it got trending, and it even had its own title and article kind of going on Twitter. I was so hype about it, bro, and it just made me happy to see that so many people still love the Xenoverse series to this day and still care about a Xenoverse 3. Like, no matter what, if a Xenoverse 3, I don't even want to say when a Xenoverse 3 gets announced, bro, I'm telling you, the internet is going to explode, okay? So, real quick, this is something a little bit separate, but this is just to kind of give you guys that hope and belief in a Xenoverse 3. I want you guys, I don't want you guys to get your hopes up over, you know, things that I don't feel strongly about, but I'm very passionate about this game. I'm very passionate about Dragon Ball. I love this series to death. It's very hard for me to be, to show negativity in regards to the Dragon Ball series, and especially the video games, and especially the Xenoverse series, because I play this fucking game every day, and I love it. It's so much fun, and it's enjoyable. Now, one of the games that it gets compared to a lot, okay, and this is just a little article here, that I wanted to read. The Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 has a GTA 6 problem. Like GTA 5, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 has become so popular that Bandai Namco has considered whether it's worth leaving fans behind for a sequel. They just do kind of like a recap. So any other game would probably have a guaranteed sequel just because it has, at this point, sold over 8 million copies. It might have already sold over 9 million copies. They just haven't announced it yet. We can't really... It's very hard to track this data until they announce it. But both Xenoverse 2 and Fighters have sold over 8 million copies. Those games alone. Now, the Xenoverse series is still the best-selling series because it has 2 games in the series. And obviously, I think it had over like 5 million for Xenoverse 1 at that time. So like, just think about that. Like, that's a lot, bro. Like, that is a shit ton for a anime game. And I know Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm has also sold, I think that sold over like 9 or 10 million at this point. But I think that game has been out way longer. So given the structure of Xenoverse's content and DLC, this poses a challenge for Bandai Namco similar to what Rockstar faces with Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, it's not really a challenge. It is a very, very smart decision, okay? And like, this is coming from somebody that I'm a consumer, but I understand why they make DLC more than they make a new game. Because making a brand new game, even though it's going to sell well and do really, really well, and they eventually will do it, DLC... in this day and age, like, we didn't have DLC back when, you know, games like Budokai Tenkaichi were released. Like, back in my day, all right, like, DLC has become a more recent thing that they have been pushing for, and especially for anime games, they go hard with it. I believe Shinobi Striker recently got a Season 4 or Season 5 pass or something like that. They got a new pass announced. So that game is still getting a lot of content as well. And there have been rumors, and I think there has been, from an official source, a rumor, at least, of a Ultimate Ninja Storm 5 or something like that at this point, which is really, really cool. But in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, players get to live out, okay, yeah, we know that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so, yeah. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 is in a similar spot as GTA 6. So as things stand, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is in a similar camp to the Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto 5. These titles both have gotten so big and popular that supporting them makes more sense for their creators, taking advantage of the user base that loves... I don't want to say... Yeah, they are taking advantage. Okay, yeah, they are. They are. They are definitely taking advantage of them, of us, the users. But at the same time, I do want to say this. I see this a lot. And I want you guys to not do this, okay? Because it's just not right, okay? Everybody has their own opinions over things, and the consumer themselves, you know, they can formulate their own opinion on whether or not they want to support something, okay? And I always see all these people talking shit down to people who are supporting, for example, Xenoverse 2's DLC, okay? And it's because they're going to support it. And for example, for me, I will support it if it's good content and it's fun and it makes me have fun with the game. Because again, we don't have an announcement of Xenoverse 3 yet. Okay. Right now, Xenoverse 2's DLC is all we really have to play and enjoy for, in terms of like this, whatever you want to call this, the arena fighter type of Dragon Ball game. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big fan of Fighters gameplay. I think it's a beautiful game. I think it's a cool game, and I understand why people have a lot of fun with it, but that's just not my type of game, okay? I do like the 2D Dragon Ball Fighter type of game. I hope a Budokai game or like a Burst Limit type of game gets announced again, but I know they probably won't just because Fighters is a thing. Fighters, it's overwhelming for me, and that's why I just never really got into it, okay? You can disagree with me as much as you want. I know for a fact the game's great. I love the game, everything about it. It just, the actual gameplay itself is hard for me to grasp. Like, I do enjoy watching people play it more than playing it myself. Now, Xenoverse as a series is a game that is extremely casual. It has a competitive side. It can be competitive, but I think any game can. This game was meant to be more about the story, more about the customization, more about the content, the insane amount of content. You have over like 130 characters, I think, at this point. So yeah, I just don't like it when people, you know, will shit on others or like try to sway their you know, opinion about like the DLC and content and stuff. They're saying, oh, don't support it, because if you don't support it, we'll get a Xenoverse 3. They're gonna make a Xenoverse 3. No, that's not how that works. If you support the DLC and you're just supporting the game series, that shows the developers that, hey, yes, they do want more content in a sequel or potential sequel or whatever. And it's like, even if Xenoverse 3, I'm just saying hypothetically, even if it doesn't ever get announced, okay, or release it or whatever, the Xenoverse franchise, the series, this type of game where it has custom characters, it's the you know, almost not really MMO, but like, you know, that type of online environment where you're going through and you can see other players and stuff in the main lobby, you know, all that, the arena fighter aspect, that's going to live on. That type of gameplay will come again in some type of format. Not the breakers. We're not talking about the breakers. The breakers is, that to me doesn't, like, it doesn't even exist. But let's go back to this. This is from the actual Rockstar Games team. Okay, this is the team that makes the Grand Theft Auto. You just saw that article that I brought up talking about, oh, you know, Xenoverse 3, or sorry, not Xenoverse 3, but yeah, GTA 6 not being announced or anything. Now, GTA 6 officially, the title of Grand Theft Auto 6 has not been like announced, but let's just read this, okay? This is from them, Rockstar Games, and this was a more recent article. With the unprecedented longevity of GTA 5, we know many of you have been asking us about a new entry in the Grand Theft Auto series. So this is great that the actual team of Rockstar Games who's making this game, the GTA series, is actually acknowledging this, okay? That's a great first step. With every new project we embark on, our goal is always to significantly move beyond what we have previously delivered. And we are pleased to confirm, this is a confirmation, that active development for the next entry in the Grand Theft Auto series is well underway. We look forward to sharing more as soon as we are ready, so please stay tuned to the Rockstar Newswire for official details. On behalf of our entire team, blah, 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 okay? That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And again, like, you probably have seen, you know, people like talking about it, like saying like, oh, it's not gonna happen or whatever. But no, whatever this next game is, they have it announced right here, at least the development, okay? And I know Xenoverse, that's completely different story right now because they haven't announced anything on it. But I think it's just because the game is still getting a lot of DLC. So this was a article, I believe, on this website called Shahab. They go over like all of like the differences between Xenoverse 1, Xenoverse 2, and all that stuff. And this is something that I kind of wanted to get into as well. And it's funny because they used one of my videos in this article. I love that. I absolutely love that. Yo, shout outs to Asta Patil or Asta. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that. I'm probably screwing that up. I apologize. But yeah, yeah, that's sick, dude. I never expected one of my videos to be dropped in a news article, especially with something like this. The jump between Xenoverse 1 and 2 was only 1 year, okay, in terms of like what they decided to do. They did DLC in Xenoverse 1. I think they did the GT story and a little bit of Dragon Ball Super with the Frieza Resurrection F, those movies, okay? They did some DLC. I think they did 3 packs compared to Xenoverse 2 that has like 14 now, okay? Now, even though the core gameplay did change a bit, you know, they had new mechanics like snap vanishes and like I think they always had perfect blocking and stuff, but you know, they added some stuff and they made the game flow and feel better, okay? But the core game of it, in terms of models and even the story, did not change very much, especially the story, okay? All they added in was, oh, we put in a couple of the movie characters within the normal story. There was nothing, it was a very brain dead story. They just took the normal Dragon Ball Z story and then they added in a couple of the movies, and that was it. That was really it. And then they had that ending with Mira Final Form, Super Saiyan 4 fucking Mira, and that was literally it, okay? So what could they add to Xenoverse 3 that would make the story so much better? The infinite history, the idea of that. Obviously, I've said it a million times. Dragon Ball Heroes content can absolutely happen at one point in time. just because all they need is that licensing and the copyright and all that. They just need to get that done. And I think that is a direction that they might go, just because it has so much variety and stuff. But even without that, let's just say that they don't put that in there, they still can combine and make their own original story. Like I said, they've had 5-6 years to do this game, okay? And all the new story that they've added in terms of like the infinite history kind of deal with Few and all that stuff, all the DLC story, it hasn't really been anything unique. I mean, we got cool unique fights like Jiren versus Broly and stuff, but it was still the main story with added characters into it. It was still that same type of concept. A Xenoverse 3 story could be completely original. For example, Dragon Ball FighterZ. Dragon Ball FighterZ, I know people didn't really care for that story mode or whatever, but that was a complete original story. Like, that didn't really go through the sagas of DBZ and GT and all that. No, that didn't do that. It was just basically post Dragon Ball Super, or like, you know, post DBZ with like Dragon Ball Super content. They had the androids kind of integrated into it, which was weird. And then they had the fucking what is it, with Android 21 and stuff. Like, it was crazy. Like, I think that story mode is underrated. The gameplay of it was bad, but I think the story mode was kind of interesting. I liked it. I thought it was cool. So that's just something I kind of wanted to bring up, because it's like, I haven't really thought about like a true unique story mode, that like an original story for a Xenoverse 3, and that could definitely happen. And it's like, you look back on Xenoverse 1 and they focused on GT's story mode a lot, while Xenoverse 2 has focused more on Dragon Ball Super story. What if they just like kind of combined that together? Like it says right here, the 2 installments have already explored the elements of both GT and Dragon Ball Super. However, a much awaited sequel will meld these 2 worlds with different futures and distinct temporal anomalies of the main timeline, and harbor few major changes due to tampering. Now, I like that, okay? I very much like that. That is awesome. That is a great idea. Even if they don't want to go for an original story, why not just like merge these like 2 separate universes? Like, Dragon Ball Super erases GT basically in a way. But what if they just called this game the Dragon Ball Multiverse? Dragon Ball Multiverse would be so cool. Multiverse of Madness being a thing, okay, recently. A game called Dragon Ball Multiverse would be the coolest shit ever, where it explores combining different universes and multiverses of the Dragon Ball series, because GT is basically like a multiverse of Dragon Ball. It's this alternate timeline where they go into stuff with Super Baby Vegeta and Super Saiyan 4. They have that timeline. And then they have Dragon Ball Super's timeline, which focuses on God Ki and other universes and stuff. You know, it's crazy. The universe of Dragon Ball, the multiverse of Dragon Ball, has so much content that they could go over. All right, guys, let's go ahead and go to the conclusion of this video that I wanted to bring up, because this image has been brought up so much over the past couple of years. I think this was something that was leaked in 2019, and I just want to confirm with you guys that this is not Xenoverse 3. This is not a new Xenoverse game. For whatever reason, it has the same sort of Kanton City vibe to it, but I believe this is from, I want to say it's either a PC game or a mobile MMO game. That is, I believe it is a fan-made game, okay? Or not a fan-made, but like some kind of bootleg, you know, Dragon Ball game like they usually have. Now, obviously, I think a lot of work was put into this, and it's cool. This is definitely badass. But look, we have some more. And there's this game, I think it was like Dragon Ball's Strongest Warrior or some shit like that. I think it was a mobile game, and I think this is a mobile game right here, or something on PC. But yeah, here it is. I don't know what that translates to. You guys might be able to know. But this is apparently, actually, it says Bird Studio Shueisha. I don't know if this is fake or not. Maybe this is a completely different game too, altogether. I don't know if they're all related. But I think this actually, it might have been like a Bandai Namco Chinese game that was on mobile, and I think it was only exclusive to China. But here is Satan City. Now, like I said, it has that Xenoverse look to it. Like the models and stuff. It's a cool looking thing. I wish I knew how to play this game, or like I knew exactly what this was, but I think it is an MMO. But this one right here, this screenshot right here was always so prominent. It was everywhere because it looks exactly like the next town in Dragon Ball. It looks great. I love this. I don't know if this is a concept, but you can see right here, I think that's Supreme Kai of Time down here. I'm pretty sure that's Supreme Kai of Time. Like a hologram of her. Then you have the like PQ area or whatever, which is pretty cool, or like the Dragon Ball area where you summon Shenron. Like this literally looks exactly like Xenoverse. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, but yeah, that's just something that I wanted to bring up because you know, a lot of people tweeted at me. Here's another little concept that I made. I think this would be so cool. I don't know, like this is way too over the top and way too complex and everything, but just the idea of like selecting you know, different transformations in the story mode and stuff. Like this I know it shows Goku, but make this like your CAC or something like that and be like, oh, okay, well, in the story mode cutscenes, what do I want to look like? Do I want to look like a Super Saiyan? Do I want to look like a Super Saiyan Blue or an Ultra Instinct or something like that? I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Just a fun trip down memory lane, going over and reviewing news articles and things that people have brought up to me over the years in regards to Xenoverse 3 as a whole. I still believe this game will happen. And when it does, the internet's going to blow up. All right, y'all stay safe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
This is Broly, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet.